Okay, this is further to the yesterday's class. Okay, today we will try to understand what is this VMware or virtualization technology is about. What are all the major virtualization vendors we have in the market, and how can you build a virtual machine using a VMware tool? Correct, right? So we will try to learn about it. So I'll quickly take you to the one node and I want to explain something. Okay. So when I talk about virtualization, any idea what is virtualization? What is virtualization? What is virtualization, guys? So virtualization is nothing but the process of creating a VM within a computer within a computer. I could say the process of creating a computer within a computer called as virtualization. Okay, means you have a computer, okay, and you are creating computer within a computer. Means earlier we had one I mean before like a 15 years or 20 years if you go, when the IT just started, like, okay, so we had a concept called the physical servers. Means if you wanted to have 5 servers in your offices, if you want to host 5 applications, you would have, I mean that time you need to buy 5 servers. Okay, say for example 5 servers, 5 physical boxes. And to keep this 5 physical boxes, you need to have a room. And this room we call it as data center. What we call it as data center. Because it is a center where you keep all the data. All these 5 servers are there now, 5 physical boxes will be kept in a room, and that room will be called as data center. So now, as the IT evolves, as then when the new technologies arises, see, I will tell you the challenges of maintaining this one. So here 5 physical boxes, and the 5 physical boxes mean it is not like the small computers whatever we have today. When the about 20 years back, if you go right, one server was a big, almost one room size bigger it was. Imagine how big room you wanted, and to run that much of higher volumed server physical boxes, you need high amount of electricity. High amount of electricity, the consumption of the electricity was high. Okay, and you need a cooling system, AC, and you need a network also, correct na? And to maintain this one you need resources and engineers. So a lot of dependency is there. Okay, so now as the IT evolves, we wanted to come out of this kind of challenges, like having, say for example, you have only 5 servers, not a problem. Imagine a companies like Meta, Facebook, or Google, Amazon, they have n number of applications, n number of servers. Consider they have 10,000 servers. To keep 10,000 servers, how big the data center they have to deploy. So as the size of the IT grows, as the size of the IT grows, or your application or your business grows, you need to have new servers for new applications, and this has become a burden. That is why the IT gains, they started to explore more and more. They have bought a concept called virtualization. This virtualization is nothing but creating the virtual machine within the virtual machine, or creating a computer within a computer, and that technology we call it as virtualization. So virtualization means creating a computer within a computer. So what does this virtualization? Let me explain you here. So they have found a solution, or the solution is nothing but the virtualization. That virtualization nothing but it's a piece of software. Virtualization is a piece of software. So this is virtualization. So what is this device has got? So this device has got 100 CPUs and 1 TB of memory and has got 10 terabytes of storage. Okay, and 200 network interface cards. Okay, it has got this much. So what is this hypervisor? The virtualization software will help you. This will run on the, there are two types of virtualization software, I'll tell you. Okay, what does this virtualization will help you do? Instead of having 100 numbers, say for example you want to have 20 servers. In my example, you are working in a company and they wanted to build 20 servers. So instead of buying 20 different physical boxes, what they will do, they will buy one big box. Okay, one, it is big means more configuration, not in the size. Nowadays a laptop size of hypervisor has got it has got huge capacity in it. You can create 100 500 virtual machines also in a laptop sized hypervisor. Okay, so what we will do, this virtualization software will allow you to take some CPU, say for example I want 4 CPU, and some memory, I want 8 GB memory, and 10 out of 10 GB TB of storage, I want to have 256 GB of storage, and I want one network interface card. So you just take some portion of the configuration with this big box and create a virtual machine, and the virtual machine is VM01. Similarly, you want another computer. Okay, out of this out of 100 CPU, now you already use 4 CPU, remaining is how much? 96. Here 96 left out. Here 1 TB means it is 10818 GB left, MB left. Okay, so GB left, sorry. And here 10 terabyte, out of 10 terabyte I have used 256 MB minus this one. Okay, remaining whatever it is there, like that. So then you may have around 10 CPUs. Okay, and maybe around here 8 out of this is a memory optimized. I need 10 GB of memory, and storage is 2 terabytes of storage, and you create one more VM02. So here you can create n number of virtual machine up to the capacity of the hypervisor, till you consume 100 CPU, till you consume 1 terabyte of memory, until you consume 10 TB of storage. You can create n number of computers within this big computer. This big computer, will call it as hypervisor host. Hypervisor or ESXi host. So this physical box hosts lot of capacity in it, and using the virtualization software you create small computers within the computer, and that technology we will call it as virtualization. Clear? Is this clear? Okay, so there are two types of hypervisor. Now you know, I mean, managing the physical boxes is the toughest work, and that needs lot of investment. You need to buy the offices, you need to physically buy the servers. And say for example, I'll tell you one more another advantage of the hypervisor. Say for example, you have a server. This server application is exhausted. I mean, this is become expired. You are not using that application, and application 2 also, it is a old application you are not using. So out of this tools, I mean, if it is a physical server, you cannot use until and unless you have an application with the same configuration. But in case of VMware, it is not like that. If it is a VM, like 2 CPU and 2 GB memory, and if you have two machines like that, okay, when you don't have an application, you can delete it, you can delete both, then the hypervisor reclaim the capacity back. Now 2 plus 2, total 4 CPU will come and sit here. I said it is 96 now, it will become 100. Free CPU available is 100 CPU. Then you can create a single computer also. Using this 2 plus 2, 4 CPU, you can create a new virtual machine with 4 CPU and 4 GB memory and storage 256, 256. You can have 512 GB of storage, and you can even create a single virtual machine in case of virtualization. But in case of physical, it is not like that. You have to use, because you cannot change it. You cannot change the configuration. Maybe different one is Dell, another one is maybe IBM server is there. If that is the case, you cannot do anything. So it is lot of investment. You cannot reuse the devices, and there is no flexibility. But here you have the flexibility. And another advantage, in the physical box you have only 2 CPU. You cannot increase it to 4 CPU. You have to buy a new hardware. But in virtualization, it is not like that. Today you have 4 CPU and 4 GB memory. Tomorrow, if you want to increase it 4 GB to 8 CPU and 4 GB to 8 GB and 512 to 1 terabyte, you can quickly do it within 2 minutes if you have the free space available in the hypervisor host or the ESXi host. Okay, that is the beauty of the virtualization. So with that, let us understand there are 2 types of virtualization tools. One is type 1. Type 1 hypervisor. Another one is type 2 hypervisor. Type 1 hypervisor. Another one is type 2 hypervisor. So type 1 means it is also an hypervisor. So this hypervisor runs on an application or runs on top of an operating system. Say for example, you have a server here, okay, and this is a Windows 10 server or Windows 10 client computer. So what you will do, you will install this type 1 hypervisor as an application. You will install this type 1 as an application. Means that type 1 hypervisor runs on top of an operating system. You see here, I have my VMware workstation installed here. See, this is the tool. This VMware workstation is a tool. Where it is installed as an application. See, you have Microsoft Edge as an application. Avast is Avast antivirus have an application. Acrobat Reader is an application. GetScreen is an application. Adobe Premiere Pro is also an application. So, like any other application, you can even install the hypervisor on top of an operating system. That is called as type 1 hypervisor. Means if you go to the add remove program app wizard.cpl, application wizard.cpl, means you can see all the installed application. If you go here, you can see this VMware workstation. See, this VMware workstation as an application. You can even uninstall. Just click on this and say, see, uninstall, it starts. Okay, means type 1 means it is an hypervisor. It will run on top of an operating system. To run a type 1 hypervisor, you need an operating system. That operating system can be anything. It can be Windows 10, 11 or server operating system as well, not a problem. Okay, but this type 2 hypervisor and this type 1 hypervisor, where we will use in the institutes. We will do in the lab environment. If you want to create some virtual machine within your laptop or within your desktop, you can install the type 1 hypervisor. The second option is type 2 hypervisor or the bare metal hypervisor. The bare metal hypervisor. So type 2 and bare metal both are same. What does this hypervisor means? This hypervisor itself is an operating system. Means this type 2 is there, na? That type 2 itself is an operating system. Okay, you see here, you have a server physical box. Okay, you will install the VMware VMware ESXi host. So this is VMware hypervisor. Okay, you will install in it. When you install it, you will get a link https like 192.168.1.10. Okay, and you will access this box, and within this box you will create the VMs. So the difference between the type 1 and the type 2 are, the type 1 is an application kind of a hypervisor. You need an operating system to install the type 1 hypervisor. But type 2 is, it is a bare metal hypervisor, and this hypervisor itself is an operating system. You just need an empty server. You will install the OS. That OS itself is the hypervisor OS. Like you have Windows 10, like yesterday we installed our Windows 10, right? Operating system. Likewise, you need to install type 2 hypervisor on a hardware. That is called as type 2 hypervisor or ESXi host, and we'll also call it as a bare metal one. And in the normal offices, you will use the type 2 hypervisor. You don't use type 1 hypervisor. Okay, that is about one. So with this information, let me go to the Windows, my VMware workstation, and you see in my computer I have enough space. I have good configuration. My laptop is a very good configuration. If you go to the properties of this PC, okay, you will see what is the configuration of my computer. Go to properties, and you see I have a processor of i7 8th generation, okay, and it has got 1.9 to 2.1 gig speed. And you see I have the memory installed. RAM is nothing but random access memory, means it is a memory. It has got 16 GB. The computer performance is directly dependent on the amount of memory you have and also the CPU, and not on the storage, because storage is different, memory is different. Memory means to store the calculations, to increase the performance. Storage means to store the data permanently. That's all. Okay. So now what I will do, I will try to use maybe 4 GB of memory and some same by default CPU and 60 GB of storage, and I would like to create a virtual machine. And I will show you step by step how to create a virtual machine in the VMware workstation. Okay, I will share you all the the software and license information to you. You can download and install it in your laptop. But now concentrate on this. Okay, so when you just open the VMware workstation, okay, let me close everything. Okay, I'll just keep only one. Okay, so now you will, this is the home page. You can just click on this create a new virtual machine. Once you click on the create a new virtual machine, it will give you two options. One is typical, another one is custom. Typical means if you want to reduce the time, the hypervisor itself will select the required information. You don't need to select anything. But custom means you can go and do the customization as you want. Like you go to buy clothes, dresses. If you go for ready-made, you just have to pick whatever is available there and whatever fitting is there. But if you do the customization, if you go and stitch it, you can do whatever size you wanted, length, width, everything can be customizable. So my recommendation should always go with the customization, hence select the second option called custom. Once you select the custom, you can click on next. Once you click on next, it will give you the compatibility or the limitations of this hypervisor. I am using ESXi, I am using workstation 17. Okay, I am using workstation 17. You see here, you can go to help, and if you go to the about VMware workstation, you will see I am using 17 Pro. About VMware workstation 17 Pro means I am using 17.x as the hypervisor. Okay, so create a virtual machine and then click on the custom and say next. It will just give you what is the capacity of this Pro will support. Okay, you have all the information here, and click on next. And here you get three options: installation of the operating system. One is installer via disk, another one installer via image, third option is I will install it later. So I can select any of this option now only, and I can select the image. The problem is here, if you select it right away and start the installation, it will ask you for the keys, Microsoft licensing keys, but we don't have license key available with us because it is chargeable. So to avoid that, what I will do, I will create a VM first and then I will install the operating system. So I will select the third option, I will install this operating system later and click on next. Then you have multiple operating system versions as a vendor. If you want to see the Windows operating system, select the Windows, and if you just see all the available Windows 3.1. Most of the people's not even took birth when the Windows 3.1 was there. Okay, see Windows 3.1, 95, 98, ME 2000. You never even heard about this operating system. We are only talking about now 16, 19 and 22 and 10 and 11, correct na? There are a lot of operating system are available. So in my case, I want to install Windows 10. So in Windows, Microsoft, I will select Windows 10. If you need server, you can select server operating system here. But in my case, I need Windows 10. I will opt Windows 10. If you need Linux, click on Linux here and you see all the flavors of Linux you have. You have Red Hat Enterprise, you have SUSE Linux, you have Ubuntu, okay, you have Solaris, okay, see Turbonomics, Debian, Fedora, and everything is there. Novel, everything is there, okay. If you similarly, if you want ESXi, see, if you click on VMware ESXi, I told you know ESXi is also type 2 operating system. I told you know type 2 hypervisor, that is also an operating system. See, it is giving what you want. You want ESXi 7, 6, 5, whatever one. Other, like you have other now, MS DOS, FreeBSD, all these are appliance, we call it as appliance, okay. So in my case, I will select the Microsoft Windows and Windows 10. I use the operating system I needed. Let me say next, okay. And what I will do, I will just put Windows 10-2 and I will just renaming the computer. Whatever name is visible here, it depends on this name only, okay. You will say next. I have enough space in C drive. Let me check how much space I have. C3 32 GB is there. I can delete something. One second, I'll go to documents. I'll go to virtual machines. I can delete this Windows 2K16. Yeah, that's okay. So now you see I have enough space now. If I go to this PC, see I have 162 GB, it's fine now, okay. So what I will do, I will keep it in the C drive only. See Windows 10, see users, welcome, documents, virtual machine. See in this path I am saving this image, the virtual machine image, okay. So next, this is the firmware type, means this is the firmware is nothing but it's a piece of software which will help the hardware to communicate, okay. So either BIOS or UEFI. So BIOS means it's a basic input output system, the legacy one. The unified one, the second one is unified, okay. That is the latest one. You can select whatever you want. In the interview, people will ask you what is BIOS and what is UEFI. You can tell BIOS means it's a legacy firmware type, UEFI is the advanced and the latest one, okay. And it is asking you to select the processors. Processor cannot be changed. Whatever is there in your base machine can be used here in the type 1 hypervisor, okay. Just go with the default, but memory you can select how much ever you wanted. See, I have total 16 GB. See, I can see the arrow here, and that is maximum. What is this? 16 GB is there, but I just need 4 GB. How to select 4 GB? Just click on this 4 GB here. 4 on the 4. If you click, see it got increased 4 into 1024. Then it has become 4096. So 8 GB. I wanted to make 8 GB, so I will select 8 and say next. Network type, just go with the default one, no need to change. IO controller, no need to change. The disk type, go with the recommended one, NVMe, okay. And you want to create a virtual disk. Yes, I want to create a new virtual disk. and then it is asking you how much capacity you wanted, and recommended is 60 GB. I'll just go with the 60 GB only, but I will store here. Three options are there: allocate the entire disk, whatever space available you can allocate. Third one, split the virtual disk into multiple files, or store the virtual disk into single file. See, normally when we go to shopping, we'll go to the mall, or maybe the grocery shop. We'll take the trolley and carry it in the bag. Why? Because easy to carry, easy to manage. So imagine if you don't select this option, store single, virtual disk as a single file, this 60 GB will be getting divided into 6 pieces of 10 GB. Correct, na? So which is not good to maintain. So that's why, to keep it as a single file, I can select this one, so that all the 60 GB will be stored as a single file. So you can even move, copy, paste, easy. It will be easy. So okay, with that you can just continue with the disk file name and finish it. Once you finish it, you see Windows 10-2 got created. See, you can see the memory I gave is 8 GB, processor is 2, and hard disk is 60 GB. CD DVD auto detect is there. Network, I went with the NAT default one, USB default one, sound default, everything is default. Now I need to install the operating system. To install the operating system, I need to insert the CD or DVD. So what I have to do, I have to click on DVD. Here DVD is there. You can click on DVD, and here DVD got selected, and it is auto detect is there. Okay, what I will do, three options are there: connected power on, it should be connected; physical drive, you can use the physical drive, and use the image file, ISO image file. Select this ISO image file, okay, and you may have a Windows 10 downloaded image with you. I have Windows 10 64-bit downloaded and kept here, where in the D drive software ISO images. I will also send you the link to you guys. Okay, you can just download the image. Okay, you can just download the image and select this Windows 10. So select the Windows 10 option here now and open it. Okay, and now click on OK. Once you click on OK, you have inserted the DVD or the image. You see here, and when I hover my cursor here, and it is telling using the file d:/software, and under that ISO images, under this Windows 10 64-bit image, I am using it. So I am all set now. Okay, and if you click on here, it is auto detect also there, connected and auto detect. Okay, not a problem. Now I will just click on the power on this virtual machine. As soon as I click on power on virtual machine, the computer will start detecting the operating system, and it will start loading or booting from there. See, this is very, very important. Being an engineer, you are going to work as an engineer, right? You should know about the operating system. Operating system is the main core thing that you should know. Okay, you should know what is an operating system, how an operating system works, and how to install the operating system. Okay, and how to troubleshoot the operating system. You should know the basics. See, once the detection is done, it is asking you to select the language. 99.9% of the time you will use English, United States only. Okay, and maybe in the French and some Norwegian country they use different Spanish and all, but English is the 99.9% of the time predominantly used language. Okay, so select the language and say next. Now you have two options here. One is install the operating system, another one is to repair the operating system. If you click on repair the operating system, it will give multiple options. Okay, if you want to troubleshoot, you can just click on the troubleshoot. And what is the troubleshoot? You want to open the command prompt and run some commands, or you want to restore from the previous restore points. People may ask you, do you want to restore it? Okay, you can just come here and do the restoration. But in my case, I don't want to restore anything, or I don't want to repair anything, but I would like to install the operating system freshly. So since I need to install the operating system freshly, instead of selecting the repair option, you can go on the install option. Okay, I'll show you again. I will share you the notes. Don't write the notes. Topic wise notes is there, I'll give you. So I'll click on the language default, say next, and now I'll click on the install. So once you click on the install, okay, the setup is now getting ready. Okay, and it will ask you to activate the Windows. I told you now, if you start installing now, it will ask you Windows. So if you come from that option, you will get stuck here because you don't have the key, and it will not give you this I don't have the product key option also. It will never give. So without the operating system, you cannot continue if you go with the straight away installation. Okay, so I will click on this I don't have the product key here. Once you click on select the I don't have the product key, the operating system is now suggesting I have multiple operating system versions I have. Okay, depend upon the usage. If you are using at home, you can select Windows 10. If you are working at an institute or an organization, like the schools, colleges and all, educational organizations, you can select education. If you are working as a professional, you just go with the professional. So since we are all trying to work as IT professionals, try to cultivate, you should always use a professional packages and professional tools and kits. So that is why I am selecting this Windows 10 Pro as the operating system required. So once you select the Windows 10 Pro, then it will ask you to read this licensing terms and conditions. Okay, when you have time, please read it. Okay, and now I will just accept the license terms and conditions, and I will click on next. Once I click on next, it will give you two options like we got yesterday. One is upgrade, another one is install. I don't have any operating system in my computer, then upgrade is not an option for me. I have to freshly install the operating system. Then I'll just click on the installation of the operating system, the second option. As soon as I click on that, it will ask you to create the partitions. If you remember, I have added 60 GB storage. Out of 60 GB, I want to create the partitions now. I want to create two drive. One is C drive for 50 GB, another is 10 GB for my data disk. How to create? Just click on this new option, and 50 GB means it is calculator. If you go to calculator here, I know, but I would like to show you. So click on calculator and just go 50 GB into 1024 MB. It is 51,200. See, 50 GB into 1024, it is 51,200. What I will do, I will just add 51,200 MBs here and apply, and I'll create a new drive called C drive. Now you see another drive, unallocated space is there, and this two partition now. See, once I click, I just added 50 GB and created one disk. But now you see three things are there. One is the system reserved, another one is the partition. This system reserved is there. This is created by the operating system. It has got some soft links and hard links of this partition along with the other drive. This unallocated space and this partition 2 is there. Between this, it will have some links. That links are stored in the partition 1. The system reserved partition. This is created by the operating system and not by me. And not by you. Okay, and the 50 GB now is the primary disk. The first primary disk is 50 GB. Correct now, and remaining is unallocated space. I'll just click on this unallocated space. I would like to create another drive. I'll click on new, and I don't want to leave any MB also. I will just consume all the available space and create a new drive. And the newly created drive now got converted from unallocated to partition 3. Okay, and the partition 3, if you look at, that is of a 10 GB and free space is 10 GB, and this is also a primary drive. So yesterday I told you, while installing the operating system, you should always install on the first primary drive. Which is my first primary drive here? Which is listing first, which is in the top? That is always the first primary drive. What is the first primary drive here? The first primary drive is partition 2, drive 0, partition to is 50 GB, and that is my first primary drive. You need to select that and click on next. Once you click on next, the installation will begin. Okay, so like we saw yesterday, the installation will start completing now. All the copying, it will keep the things ready and copy the files. Okay, and then it will start installation of the files and features, and then it will look for any updates to be installed. Okay, once the update is done, then the computer get restarted. Once the computer get restarted, you will see a window like this. Once the computer get restarted after the installation, you will see an option. The windows will be up. You will see an option like this. Then you need to log in and you need to create the partitions there. Let us wait for that to come. The installation is completed now and my computer is started booting. Okay, so once the booting is completed, it will show us the standard Windows screen. You can see this is the main window. Once your installation is succeeded, right, you can see the this window. You can select the United States and click on yes. Okay, once you click on yes, then it will give you another keyboard layout. Yes, language, and this is the keyboard. The previous one was the language, this is the keyboard layout. Okay, would you like to add a secondary layout? No, I don't want to. You can skip it. Once you skip, it will do some setups. Try to do some setups. Installation is ready now. Okay, and it is asking me setup for the personal or the organization. Since we don't have any office usage now, I'll just select the personal use. I will select next, and it is asking me to enter some name. I don't have anything, but I would like to create the offline account. Here in the left side down, you have an option called offline account. Click on that offline account, and I would like to go with the limited experience. I don't need any advanced thing, and I can just give some name like I'll just try to give admin, or you can give your name also. Okay, say next. Asking some password. Password should be password at the rate 123. Like it will have both alphabet, numeric, small, capital, everything. Capital PASSWORD at the rate 123. Password at the rate 123. See, only the P is capital here. Okay, so next. And some security question it will ask, just select randomly some question and just give the answer as A. Okay, some question answer as A, some question answer as A only. Okay, so that you will have your key remembered. Memory it will be there. Okay, I don't want this. I just need not now. Okay, I accept this one. Then it will just, I don't want these additional things. Let me skip. But in the real time, you don't get all these options. Okay, in the real time, you will only get. It is a fine-tuned image you will have. Okay, means it won't ask all these questions. It will be suppressed. All these options will be suppressed in the real-time offices. Okay, it will only ask you the username and password. Nothing else will ask. Now I am ready. So my computer is almost up now. It will take a minute more and it will allow you to in. See, it got completed and now it is in actually. You can see your computer is up and running fine. Okay. So this is how we need to install the operating system. So what we will do with the interest of time, so we will just wrap it up for the day. Tomorrow I will show you the post build activities. Okay. So let me stop the recording.